what advice would you have to start having healthier thoughts?
Starting with a vision for your future is powerful.
What happened when you were younger that made you feel hopeless?
Ended up in the Balinese hospital. I had knee surgery there. My surgeon told me, you're probably never going to be able to walk again.
Sometimes you have to go through it to see the lesson. But unless you lived a life that was created for you and fully live it, you're never going to learn the lesson. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello. You're in the health industry like I am.
Mm-hmm.
We have thousands of women that I feel like would resonate with our message today. Coming in today, like, was there anything on your heart that specifically you wanted to share?
Love that question. Wow, we're just going into it. My mission with everything I do is to help women come home to themselves. That's what I always say. Like, I want women to feel more connected to themselves and also more connected to others. And I think even just after talking with you, both of our stories are so powerful to give women the tools and the skills and the mindset, the knowledge that they need in order to do that. So I'm looking forward to using today to just give value.
Yeah. And how did you know you wanted to be a leader and not a follower?
I think it was a natural thing for me, honestly. Like ever since I was little, I just always knew I wanted to help people in some way. I had this like innate desire within me. I just want to make an impact. I just want to help. And even when I was younger, I always felt like different from my friends, different from everyone else, because my intention was never to do what everyone else was doing. It was to be myself and to do it in a way that felt authentic. And I think that was just what led me to naturally just like taking the lead in a lot of situations.
Do you believe that you have to be a good follower to be a good leader?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I think you have to be able to take advice and take direction from other people and implement it, work on integrity, work on self trust. And a lot of that does come from trusting other people, taking advice and implementing. Absolutely.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I went to school hating, like, I didn't like the subjects, didn't like the teachers. I just liked playing sport with the boys. Typical guy, I guess. But when I left school, I was kind of purposeless, didn't know what to follow, didn't have any dreams to chase. Working at McDonald's, hanging out with guys. I went to a club on the weekends. That was my life for a couple of years. And I found myself a pretty good job. I got paid like $2,000 every 2 weeks. It was pretty decent. I worked for a big company in Australia called Telstra. It's like a telecommunication company. I was working in a call center. And I don't know if you know about call centers, but the shitty vibe. You walk in 7 o'clock in the morning, you get a phone call. Hey, my bill's so high. You guys suck. How many times do I say I'm not with you anymore? Stop charging me. It was like my first call at 7 a.m. I'm thinking, God damn, what happened to my life? How did I get here? But my mom was proud because I worked for a big company.
Yeah.
So I never listened to my bosses then too.
Mm-hmm.
We had, the more they micromanaged us in a call center, the more I wanted to rebel.
Yeah.
So I don't like feeling like shit when someone calls me and that says, you work for Telstra, you're a bad person as well. I didn't like it. So I rebelled. So every time I had someone pick up the phone and diss Telstra, I just hung up on them.
So, do you believe you have to be a good follower to be a good leader?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
I'm like, how did you get to where you in your leadership position?
Took me some time. I kept hanging up on people and I knew the person that was micromanaging my calls that were listening to it wasn't really doing a good job because I was hanging up on people for like 3 weeks. I don't want to be dissed. I don't want to be disrespected. If you're going to disrespect me, I'm going to hang up on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd pretend, I'd sometimes shut off my computer. Like I'd just, hey, sorry, boss. His name was MD. MD, the computer's off. I don't know, something's wrong with my computer. I just shut it off.
Oops.
Oops.
I don't want to do my job today, so let's just close the laptop.
Yeah. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, man. Anyway, it didn't last very long as you would think. I became a personal trainer, fitness coach.
Mm-hmm.
Heard an ad on the radio. Michelle Bridges. She was like one of the hosts from Biggest Loser.
Okay.
You guys have The Biggest Loser in Canada? Yeah, it's The Biggest Loser. She had an ad talking about, hey, to be a personal trainer, you got 2 sessions a week, 6 months, only a couple $100. I can do that. And that's where I started my my PT journey, but I was a terrible leader for the longest time.
Do you think it was a learned skill for you where you recognized that you had trouble following, so then you decided to learn leadership skills? Or was it like a natural, innate thing that happened once you had the passion for what you were doing?
Interesting. I tried to learn the leadership skills.
Yeah.
I bought courses. I was in the same mentorship group with you. You can buy a lot of courses that technically help you in leadership, I don't know. I just feel like being a good leader, you have to go through the dirt of being a shit leader and then find out through practice why the good people want to stay with you. Like we both have a fitness company. We have people that work with us. They respect us. They follow our lead. You got to think, why do they do that?
Yeah.
And then I feel like a good leaders are also really good people. They have to understand the person in front of them, their values, their likes, their dislikes, what they love, what they hate. You really got to know your people. It can't just be X's and O's. Let's go make a lot of money. Let's go build a business to help people. Like, they're spending 40 hours of their week with you. Nurses, healthcare workers, clients we work with, they have kids, they have families. Why are they listening? What is it about you that they should emulate, what they need to emulate?
Absolutely. Like, what about you makes them trust you as a leader? And I do think a lot of that is, like you said, what you go through. You got to go through the dirt, I
Yeah.
think. You have to be in the trenches and maybe lose yourself at some point to know how it feels to be on that journey back to yourself. And those are the steps and the frameworks that give you the confidence, the courage, the skills to be a good leader. Is how you pulled yourself out of things when things were hard or when you felt lost.
And something happened to you at a very young age because you told me off camera, like a pivotal lifetime breakthrough for you unintentionally. So what happened?
Are we talking about the accident?
Yeah, the accident. You had an accident.
Yeah, so I was traveling Bali in 2019. Trip of a lifetime. This is like the trip that everyone wants to go on. You know, you get your
Bali trip.
girlfriends together. I worked 3 jobs for years leading up to this trip. I worked since I was 12 years old, but that's a different story. So I had worked 3 jobs leading up to this trip. Was so excited to travel Bali with my friends. We were supposed to be gone for 36 days. We got to Bali, and on day 6, I was driving a scooter and I got in a scooter accident. And in this accident, I tore my left quadricep tendon, but at the time, obviously, I didn't know what had happened. We just knew I was severely injured and needed surgery. Ended up in a Balinese hospital. I had knee surgery there. And then after I got back to Canada, after my surgery, I found out the surgery in Bali actually failed. So when I got back to Canada, I went to the hospital immediately. Couldn't move my left leg. I couldn't walk. And I ended up spending, this happened in November. My second surgery was in March. So I spent the next 6 months trying to rehab, unable to walk until my surgeon was finally like, we need to get you in for another surgery. Luckily, that surgery worked and I was able to walk again. But there was a point in time after that second surgery where my surgeon told me, you're probably never going to be able to walk again.
How did that make you feel?
Horrible. I was terrified. But also, when that happened, I remember thinking in my head, that's not true.
Like instant moment.
Instant moment. I was like, I don't believe you.
That was a voice in your head that
Yeah.
you said out loud, or you kept it with you?
I kept it with me.
Okay.
I did. Well, I think I questioned her. I was like, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm never going to walk? And like, if I do walk, she said, like, you might be able to, but you probably won't be able to go upstairs. You're probably not going to be able to swim. Like, you're not going to be able to jump, do regular human things, but you could maybe move. And I was like, absolutely freaking not.
19, 20?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was 20 years old. Yeah, so 20 years old, someone tells you you've had 2 knee surgeries, you had this crazy traumatic accident, and now you may never walk normally again. It's like immediately your quality of life, your vision for your future is just destroyed. But I definitely was not willing to accept that. And I was like, well, I can choose to let this be a burden in my life, or I can choose to let this be a blessing. And how can I shift my mindset to see this as a blessing? And even though that was the hardest thing in the world to do, because when you look forward, it doesn't look like there's a way out, but you can create your own. You can figure it out. So I hired my personal trainer 2 weeks after I got my brace off, got into the gym. It was COVID. So during this time, all the gyms were closed. I had to like pay extra and try to figure out a way to get into the gym behind closed doors. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but we figured it out. And I remember I was doing like yoga at home and body weight squats at home. I had 5-pound dumbbells. I was just figuring it out. And eventually I got my strength back. I was able to walk. I have a video on my phone of the first time I jumped after my surgery.
Jumped.
Like
just on the spot?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like a jump squat.
jump squat. That's more intense.
Yeah. That was a milestone moment. So I think after all of that, I just decided if I can get myself out of this situation, I can do anything.
I mean, I have to ask, because you're 19, 20, doctor tells you you might not be able to walk again. Your instant reaction, like, I don't believe you. I mean, why did you have to believe in that fact that you needed to walk again?
Purpose.
Purpose.
Yeah. I knew, I don't know if this was a conscious desire, but I knew that if I accepted the reality of I'm not going to be able to walk, I would have no drive. There's no purpose for life. There's no spark. And without a spark, without purpose in your life, you're going to feel lost.
Have you felt like that before this accident?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you saw
Yes.
a pattern. Okay.
Yes.
They do say the most successful people in the world are able to recognize patterns. So,
Yes. Success leaves clues.
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this goes back to the other story we talked a little bit about with like mental health previously, my
Yes.
diagnosis when I was younger, and just actually being purposeless and feeling lost previously in my life. I think it was imprinted within me where I said, absolutely, I don't want to feel like that again.
Wow. So strong. So, on one side, you wanted to live a purposeful life, meaningful life, goal driven life. On the other side, if you don't, you're going back to like what happened when you were younger. And for those that don't know, like, and I'm sure we'll tie back into this beautiful story, but what happened when you were younger that made you feel hopeless?
I think hopeless is a good word.
Okay.
Hopeless, lost is a word I use often. It wasn't one specific moment that happened. You know, the Bali accident was a specific moment in time that just felt like my life was over. When I was younger, previously, it was more developmental. It was just over time, a series of events over and over and over again that makes you question who you are and what you can do in the world. And a lot of this ties back to my upbringing. I lived with alcoholic parents and I started working really, really young. So got my first job when I was 12. And I had this work ethic within me, again, to just get out of this situation. How can I help myself? How can I do better? How can I give value to other people? Because that's always what made me feel better. And going back to your question, it was a series of events over time that kind of compounded to a place where I felt like I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know why I was working so hard, why I was doing what I was doing, but all I knew is I was moving away from pain. I was moving away from something. And there's this concept, you've probably heard of this before, of like a move away from goal and a move toward goal. And I think that's pretty much what you just referenced when you're like, there's this part of you that wanted to avoid this pain and the other part of you that wanted to find purpose. And if we're consistently trying to move away from a goal or move away from pain, once that pain is gone, this is where people self-sabotage because there's nothing to run away from. So when you're moving towards purpose, you can consistently be moving. You're not going to self-sabotage because you're going to be moving forward.
So, what was that moment for you?
For me, when I went to the doctor, I was like 14 years old, and I told her how I was feeling. I had no spark for life. I had no purpose, no vision. And immediately, the diagnosis was depression.
Oh, yeah.
And I have struggled with mental health, but they gave me this checklist. There was like 10 questions on this checklist.
What if I'm frustrated?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? 14 years old. There's 10 questions. It's like, have you considered self-harming? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? All these different questions that are relatively easy to answer yes to. Now, I'm not saying that I wasn't depressed, but the diagnosis was depression and the solution was a prescription. And that for me felt like there were no other options. And taking the prescription, taking Prozac at 14 years old, made me feel so numb. I just lost, again, the spark. The spark was gone. The magic was gone. And I was not myself.
You're able to process that now, obviously, because you work with individuals and your intellect is different to when you were 14. But at 14, did you feel safe taking the drug? Did you feel like this is the only option? No one understands me. I'm going to take this. Was that the...
I think so. Yeah. Maybe feeling misunderstood seems accurate. I don't think I ever questioned it. And I think that is maybe the problem, is that I didn't realize that didn't have to be the only way. And I do think there's a time and a place when that is the way. I definitely don't want to discount medications because I think they are super helpful and can be useful and necessary in some situations. But for myself, I don't think that that was the solution. I don't think that was the answer that I needed, but it was the only one that I knew. And that was the path that I took.
Did you speak to friends, family, or at that time it wasn't an option?
No, not that I can remember. I felt very like isolated. I felt very alone on that journey. So I think seeing a doctor and explaining how I felt, that was a big step. That was me reaching out for help. And then when the help is offered in the solution of a prescription, I think at that point you just accept, okay,
Yeah.
this is what I'm supposed to do. This is going to help. This is going to help me feel better in some way, shape, or form, or it's supposed to. So I'm going to take that step.
So what happened? You took it. How long? How did you feel? When did you snap out of it?
So I took Prozac for 2 years. During that time, I just felt really lost. I have always loved writing. I love poetry. I love music. I love nature. I love exercise. All of those things were gone, completely gone. I had no pieces of my personality or myself. It just actually felt like I was a shell of a human. And I think over time, after feeling that way for 2 years, I started to miss myself. Like I started to miss
hobbies and stuff.
Yeah, it was like worse than depression in a way.
Wow.
And I know that's not the case for
You stop
everybody.
feeling things, right? Like you stop feeling happiness. That's what I get from clients that take antidepressants. They usually are numb, right? So.
Yeah, numb is the word for sure. It just kind of felt like, lost, purposeless, numb. If you've seen the movie The Giver, the black and white versus color, that's what it felt like. So I started writing. This is actually when I leaned more on writing because unfortunately with a lot of creative skills, creative hobbies, you are more creative when you are sad.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
the thing. All the musicians.
Literally.
They're all heartbroken.
I know. I'm writing a poetry book and
Okay.
part of that is like, it's the archives. So I took all of the pieces I wrote when I was going through that depression and I compiled it all together. In that, basically I leaned on that hobby or that outlet. And that was one of the things that really saved me when I was struggling, but it also didn't help me move through it. So anyways, to answer your question, I think I just really got tired of losing myself and I wanted to know what life felt like with feeling again.
Wow.
You know the Lumineers song where it says, it's better to feel pain than nothing at all?
Oh, I don't know the song, but the lyrics sounds great.
You don't know that song? Oh, it's great. You would love it.
We'll play it afterwards.
All right. So that's how it felt. It's better to feel pain than nothing at all. And I was just willing to accept I might feel sadness and I might feel hurt. I might feel pain. However, I know that I have the ability to move through it and I don't want to live my life feeling like a shell of myself. So I decided to get off of it.
Wow. And you're just talking your way into this. Like there's no person, you're not going to church or anything.
No.
So there is hope out there for anyone that's listening that's taking these type of medications that the traditional pharmaceutical companies tell you to, or a doctor. So I told you off camera, but my little brother went through the same scenario. And I grew up with 3 brothers, dad who was never home, mum divorced at a very young age. So we had to be hyper independent for safety, for resources. And we had a foundation of don't make excuses, don't bitch and complain, get shit done, no one's coming. Like that was 21 years of my life.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful now, but looking back, I just want to love. I just want to love. Like there's no love there. So I found out my little brother, who's different to me, my older brothers, because my older brothers have the same dad. My dad was I provide food on the table. I'm the dad. I'm like, okay, well, I think I need more life lessons than food on the table, but whatever. So I forgave him for that because I like who I am now. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am today. However, my little brother had a different dad. Same mom, different dad. My little brother at 15 or 16, even 17, was going through a phase in his life where he was seeing ghosts. And then being around older brothers who are hyper masculine, hyper like get shit done, no one's coming, call it toxic or whatever, that was us. My little brother was doing stuff like, I thought I had a little sister. Like every time he got scared, he would sleep in my mum's room at 15, 16, and 17. I'd wake up in the morning on a Saturday morning and like see my little brother sleeping with my mum in the bedroom and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? This doesn't comprehend with my life. And it annoyed me because for some reason I had so much pain in my life that I wanted to give him some because all he wanted was comfort. And in that comfort, I felt like the devil was in his head. So I just want mum's love. I just want to, be coddled. So it enraged me a bit. And then he told me, because we used to hang out, I took him to the gym. He loved being around me because I was showing him stuff that his dad wouldn't. His dad's kind of a bit more soft. And whenever I took him to the gym or told him how to be around other men, he gravitated towards that because these are the life lessons he wasn't getting in school, wasn't getting at home. He would never go out. He'd stay home, play video games all day. I knew that life. So he shared with me, he's like, I'm taking this thing at school. I'm like, what is it? He's like, I can't tell you. So I asked my older brother, I'm like, what's happening to Jordan? What's happened to my little brother? And my brother said, oh, he's taking some like antidepressant, I think. I'm like, I remember the rage in my body. I was so angry. I was angry at him. I was angry at the school. I said to my older brother, I'm like, how is it possible that a school can prescribe anti-medication, psychotic drugs to my little brother and sign an NDA so he doesn't have to tell my parents? So in that moment, I said to my brother, we're booking a flight to Queensland. We're in Melbourne at the time. We're going to Queensland. We're going to go to the Gold Coast. We're going to get him around me and you because we are going to show him life. Okay? Like, stop taking medication to numb. You're not scared of ghosts. You're just on medication. You're seeing shit. Let's get you in the gym. Let's get you some vitamin D. Let's go get you out with the boys. Let's joke around. Let's push you around a bit. Let's toughen him up. He needed that. He got off the drugs. But I was very worried and concerned about that because at the time I was still a personal trainer helping my clients. I'm like, if that's happening to my little brother, what else is happening out there? So when you tell me your story about the medication, I can understand through how my brother was going.
Absolutely. And the fact that you said they made him sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Did they made him sign it?
Yeah. He said if he signs this, he doesn't have to tell anyone in his life. He doesn't have to tell his parents. So there was like a school counselor. Yeah. Every week he would get a drug, he would take it, and he wouldn't have to tell anyone.
Wow. How old was he?
15, 16.
Yeah. And that is so challenging to witness, I think, as a brother, because I assume you, being who you are, just want him to feel better. You want him to feel loved. You want him to feel helped.
Pain.
Yeah.
I wanted him to feel pain because I knew the way I grew up, which is crazy. I'm not like that anymore, but at that stage in my life, I felt pain, and I, in my bubble, have become super hyper successful in certain areas of my life because of the pain. Otherwise, I'm going to be broke. Working in a company that doesn't value me, I'm going to piece of furniture. People are going to be yelling at me. I'm going to be taking it because of the dollar. I'm going to feel like a slave. I'm a business owner. I help provide a service that impacts people's health. I felt like I was doing good in the world, but that came from pain. And now I feel love because I've been through so much pain. My little brother doesn't feel anything, just drowsy all the time. Wants to be around mum all the time. Like wasn't living, full stop.
Yeah. I feel like what's coming to my mind right now is this like pain to purpose. When we think about, yes, we feel pain, but your pain can lead you to your purpose if you are brave enough and courageous enough to move through it.
Yeah. So you felt that at a very young age, and then you decided to stop. And then you went to Bali, hang out with the girls, have a girls trip, had the unfortunate accident, but really fortunate because it's a blessing today.
Absolutely.
And through that, you're able to serve the clients that you serve, impact the world. You have a podcast. I mean, looking at it full circle right now I don't know if you are moving from a place of pain, but what advice would you have for someone listening to this that just needs a blueprint to start having healthier thoughts?
I love this question. That's so good. A blueprint to have healthier thoughts. Have a vision. I think starting with a vision for your future is powerful. A goal. If you can't think of a bigger vision, if it feels like you can't see that far ahead of you, set a goal. Set a small goal. Like purpose. You need purpose in your day. Whether that is waking up 10 minutes earlier or getting to the gym, or if that's going for a walk every day, and literally anything just to give you purpose. Because oftentimes we feel so lost, and if you don't have direction, you will always feel lost if you're just driving around in circles.
Yeah. What if someone has all that? They're doing the morning routine, they're doing the workouts, they're going to work, they're getting paid, they have money, they're feeling great, they come home, kids around, they're doing their best, but they still feel absolutely exhausted, even with 8 hours sleep. Like they kind of look like they're hitting their goals, but inside they're just dead. Like something there, it's like they've settled, but on paper it looks like they're crushing it. Got the mortgage, got the kids, got the money, got the beautiful partner, but like inside this, like their inner child has died.
Identity. Like, who are you? I think so often we reach for goals and we do certain things in our lives because that's what we're supposed to do. And the midlife crisis exists because women wake up when they're 45 years old and they say, I have this job, I have this marriage, I have these kids. I never chose any of this. I just fell into this life. How do I get myself out? Is this even what I want? Who even am I? And the reason why we ask those questions, the reason why we have the midlife crisis is because we don't have that rock solid sense of identity and self-trust leading up to those moments. So I think if you can build your life from a place of identity and self-trust, so knowing who you are and then having the courage to show up as that version of you and make those aligned choices, you won't end up questioning whether that's for you, or you won't feel that void within your heart when you wake up one day and you're like, how did I get here?
We're both in the personal development space. For those that have an idea of what personal development is, but don't feel like it's for them, like you talked about how everyone has maybe some underlying trauma, right? And what is the different type of traumas and how can they move through it and understand it better?
Yeah, this is a great question as well. Trauma has big impacts on how we show up. And a lot of people will say, like, the word trauma, I feel like, is so censored nowadays. We're so sensitive to the word, but trauma is subjective. So you and I were talking about this before we started recording, is like, it doesn't matter what happens to you, it matters how it's imprinted within your nervous system.
Yeah.
So you and I could both have the same car crash today, go through the exact same experience, but the way that it affects you might be different than the way that it affects me. And it might be more traumatic to you than it is to me, or vice versa. And all of this depends on the state of your nervous system when that trauma happens. So in terms of different types of trauma, if we compare like developmental trauma to acute trauma is going to be the car accident. Or for me, acute trauma was my accident in Bali. That's like a split second, a moment in time that is a traumatic experience. Developmental trauma is going to be a series of events over time. And this is where we can talk about generational trauma, childhood trauma. These are things you experience that are imprinted in your system as time moves forward. And this becomes a larger or greater issue over time, because this is where it actually subconsciously makes you change the way you see yourself and changes the way you see the world.
Let's get into that. And you said the state of your nervous system at that given time, or your nervous system because of what it's processed in the past?
Both. I would say both for sure. At that given time, absolutely. Because if you can maintain a more regulated state as you move through your day to day just consistently, you're going to be less reactive to certain experiences. So if somebody, let's use road rage for an example, someone
I
who's
have
really
zero road rage. When my friends go absolute apeshit, I'm like, dude, what the? You never see this guy again. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to yell? Does it make you feel better? And instantly they feel better.
Yeah.
Like I see them go crazy at a random person. Didn't even, I promise you that person didn't know you existed. But you went crazy and then 30 seconds later start joking with me. I'm like, this is weird.
You know what that is repressed emotion.
Okay.
When you have road rage, right, this person snaps and they experience and release all of this anger, the rage comes out of them. It's actually a somatic release. So it's releasing stored energy from your body. Once that energy is gone, you're back to your normal self. You're like, wow, I'm laughing again. I'm lighter. My chest doesn't feel tight anymore. And it's because that rage has been stored within you and you haven't given it the ability to actually be seen. So that's a side note on road rage.
I'll remember that next time my friends go crazy. I'm like, you got what Brittany said.
Yeah, go punch a pillow. Seriously.
I love boxing. That's all we do.
Yes, exactly. And it's actually, this is a real thing. It's like
I love how you say go punch a pillow.
I'm not even kidding
It
you.
sounds so healthy.
If you are one of my clients, that is some of the homework I give.
Punch the pillow.
Punch a pillow, go scream in your car, roll the windows
Scream in the
up,
car.
play music really, really loud, scream in your car at the top of your lungs.
Screaming, huh?
My friend and I just took a TV up into the woods and we smashed it with a sledgehammer.
No, that sounds cool.
It was so much fun.
That sounds...
But you're releasing stored energy because energy stays in the body and your body holds on to trauma. So if we talk about the topic of trauma again, that is imprinted in your system from all throughout your life. So when you're really young, when you're older, when you have developmental trauma or acute traumas that have compounded over time or just one experience, your body holds on to that energy. And if we don't process that energy in a way that is embodied, in a way that allows us to actually release it, that is going to put you in a state of fight or flight. It's going to put you in this constant survival loop. And if that survival loop is never completed, you're going to start snapping, you're going to feel irritable, you're going to feel anxiety, you might start snapping in traffic, snapping on your friends, snapping on your kids, because there's that emotion within you that hasn't had the ability to be seen yet. And I think for women, we're taught to tone it down. We're taught to not stir the pot, don't be angry, you should be calm all the time. And that's not helpful because you're a human with human emotions. And if you're not able to actually express those human emotions, it's like pushing a balloon underwater. You're trying to hold the balloon underwater and it's shaking and shaking and shaking. You can only hold it there for so long until the balloon explodes and comes up over the surface.
So I think the exposure of allowing people to be vulnerable in a safe environment, I feel like is the answer here.
Absolutely. Vulnerable in a safe environment, I think that's extremely powerful. Also, the tools to regulate and process are really helpful. So, going back to your question about nervous system regulation, if you can stay in a more consistently regulated state, you'll be less reactive and less impacted by certain events. If you're in a dysregulated state, you are more likely to be triggered by certain things. So, nervous system regulation is literally just about creating safety in your body. And if you can feel safe in your body physically, this is like the blend between actually physical processing and emotional processing, you can maintain a more regulated state consistently.
Yeah, and back to our point of leaders, I think we sometimes poo-poo this.
Absolutely.
We don't need that. It sounds like a lot of shit I don't need to do.
I always say it's not woo-woo if it works.
Yeah, if it works, exactly. And I know it works because I have a hypnotherapist I work with, and all we do is talk about my feelings and my emotion. And being around masculine people all the time, it's not something that you do. You get shit done, you move things forward. What if I tell you this? What if it feels like you're carrying a huge boulder up to the top of Mount Everest and you're at the top and you feel like to get to the next mountain or the next goal, you have to do that again? Like, would you do that? No.
Yeah.
So why do I want to carry this massive boulder to the top of the mountain when I can just walk at my own pace with people that I love? And I can stop and I can break and I can hang out. My metaphor is like I climbed Mount Fuji and there was 8 stations to the top. And each station showed me a lesson about where I was at in my life. So I went with my brother, I went with a friend. My older brother, he looked after me growing up, showed me the ropes. But we struggled to get into the top because he's not that fit. He looks fit, like he's fucking shredded. He's got a 6-pack. But you and I know, being fitness coaches, like we know muscle doesn't develop your cardiovascular. It doesn't mean you're actually conditioning fit. It just means you got lots of muscle. So he's like, no, I got this. I'm like, dude, you got to train for this, man. He's like, no, don't tell me what to do. I'm your older brother. He didn't say that, but that's how I felt. So we're climbing up this freaking mountain. We're 2 stations to the top. We're dressed in jeans, runners. We look like we're going to a nightclub. And all these like Sherpas and these Japanese hikers, professional, they have hiking sticks, they got hiking boots, they got gloves, they got goggles. They're looking at us like, fuck it. We're not white people, but they're looking at me like, oh, these white people. So we're climbing and I'm fine. Like I've trained my ass off for this. I've regulated my muscles and cardio and breathing. Me and my friend, we're getting to the top. We could probably get there in the next 8 hours because that's how long it took. But each station, he was struggling. And what I learned a lot about chasing your goals, it's not as easy as 1 + 1 = 2. It's not as easy like, I'm going to find the perfect person in my life. I'm a perfect family with a white picket fence. I'm going to get my health on track. I'm going to lose weight. It's not as simple as like setting a goal. It's the journey on the way there. And I love hiking because you go through so much adversity and those are the most beautiful lessons you can get. It's not even at the top. Dude, we got to the top of the hike and I was like, it's all cloudy. I can't see shit. We're like above sea level. It's 4,000 feet above sea level. Like there's just clouds. I couldn't wait to get back down. I'm over it. My body's down to regulate. I'm done. Like it's always the climb.
Yeah.
You know, and people can measure the climb in the gym. I've lost weight. I've lost 20 pounds. People can measure how much money they made. I've made $10,000 this month. People could measure all these things, but when it comes to the spiritual healing, you can't measure it. There's no fucking calculator there. Can't even get a blood test for this shit.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. But what's really beautiful about it is, you know, we have this unspoken word of like, if you know, you know. And when you have a connection with something or someone or a feeling, that is your nervous system telling you to lean in. So, for example, people everyday life have fear. Right? We all felt it.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't have fear till we were 6 and then we touched something that was hot and like, oh my God, that's my first experience of fear. We all have it, right? What I've learned from working for the hypnotherapists, mentors, just people that deep thinkers, they lean into the fear and you will never see that they're actually fighting. It's this unspoken courage that makes us all feel real. And that in itself, I would find more beauty in that than chasing any record, any PB in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It's this blissful feeling of like, I'm here, I'm present, I'm alive, I'm grateful, I'm all the things we need that we don't slow down to receive.
I love that. I love that you mentioned courage.
Yeah.
Courage is one of my core values for that reason.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that was taught in my household.
Courage?
Yeah. It's like, don't do that, it's stupid.
Yeah, that's so true. Actually, especially as like, obviously we're both entrepreneurs, and the same thing for me. You know, when you speak about a big goal that you have or something you're working towards, it's not usually safe. Like the good thing is not usually the safe thing. And choosing the hard things is what gives you the confidence. But so many people don't understand. We don't understand that we need the courage to find the heart or the confidence, you know? And if we don't have courage first, and we're just looking, like, this buzzword is confidence. Everyone just wants to feel more confident. But you need to be courageous to take the steps in order to get there. And that's the key.
You spoke about this concept. I listened to your podcast the other week about being super disciplined and following X's and O's, and how you had a different take on it. Because in the world of leadership and in the world of getting shit done and being a good person, like living a life of values, there's always this friction between following through on your word, keeping promises to yourself, getting all the tasks done on time, being a perfectionist almost, and the other sense of, does it feel good in your body? Talk to us about that.
Love this. Self-trust is a tricky thing because self-trust on paper, we assume that self-trust means checking the boxes, doing what you say you're going to do, following through, being super disciplined. And yes, this is true, but self-trust also means exactly like what you said, listening to your body. How does it feel in your body? So many women avoid certain signals from their body on a day-to-day basis consistently without even recognizing it. And this could be something as simple as, like, when you have to pee, do you tell yourself, no, I'll do it in 5 minutes, I'll do it later? When you are hungry and are you laughing because it's true?
I think I just had that moment before.
Right? And that's self-trust, because if you're consistently getting signals from your body and then you're ignoring them, you're breaking trust with yourself. And that's a very small scale example. Another one is food. If you're hungry and you don't eat, or you know you should take your lunch break and you don't take your lunch break and you wait 2 hours and then you're starving, you're breaking trust with your body. You're breaking trust with yourself. And again, that's a small scale example, but if that becomes a habit, that bleeds into these larger examples where you enter into relationships that don't serve you. You end up in a job that you don't like because you hear that inner nudge within your body, within your inner wisdom, and you ignore it, and you teach yourself that you can't trust the voice that's coming up for you. You can't trust your intuition. And if you can't trust your intuition, you're going to outsource your decision making to every person around you. You're going to say, what do you think I should do? What should I wear to this event?
So true.
Literally. And then you lose your identity.
Fuck, I had the biggest month in my business not last year in November, because I made a promise to a community of people that I was going to hit this number in my business, right? I hit the number. I felt fucking exhausted. Like 1 week later, after the big month, my whole nervous system shut down. I was so gung-ho and obsessive with pleasing the crowd that I just didn't train the whole month. My body was like a hot mess. Lucky I was in Dubai. Like you can send an IV treatment to your door within like an hour. So I had someone like put a needle in me to get some like fluids in my body, because I was just wrecked, and I almost fainted. Like I was so weak because all the adrenaline was gone.
Yeah.
And we had our second biggest month in business a few months ago. It was seamless. No, like pleasing the crowd. It just happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it so easy? I just trusted my intuition. I just trusted my gut. And I do believe that if you have a habit of breaking promises to yourself so many times, that I would outsource that to be around people that are more kind of in trust with themselves. Mm-hmm. So I'm also very grateful that I went through that scenario, because now I have a different perspective. Some people can hit a really big month in their life or milestones, got a mortgage, got my car, paid off all my credit card loans. Yes. And the other person could have done the same thing, but absolutely miserable once to jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
And back to your point of what we feel in our nervous system, we should listen to that more. Mm-hmm. We should know and slow down and think, hey, this event just happened. What was this? Like, how can we reflect on this? My first mentor, Tony Robbins, talks about pain plus reflection equals progress. And I don't know, there's a lot of love in this world, but not everyone has it. But everyone has pain.
Mm-hmm.
So when we reflect on it, we can still make progress. We can understand it. If you step in shit, it's okay. But if you walk back the same way and step in shit again, it's a bit of a problem. So we want to
Absolutely.
learn, right?
Absolutely. And just like you with, your business milestones, congratulations,
Thank
by the
you.
way. You do it once and you realize that the way that I did that didn't feel very good.
Well,
So you learned. You said, what didn't feel good about that situation? What do I need to change about that situation so next time I do this, it feels better?
like in November last year, it was about let's sign up all these clients. This time around, let's impact the fucking world and tell everyone how amazing our program is.
Yeah.
That's a fucking different energy.
Yes.
There's one empowering energy that I rallied the troops of my company and we're going to play this video game and we're going to have lots of fun. We're going to meet lots of cool people. We're going to save lives, change lives. Most importantly, empower women that are not broken.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, I'm like, let's go find everyone that's a mess and like tell them they need to do better in life. Totally different
Yes.
energy. And this one was exhausting. It's like we're fixing broken people. And this one was like empowering people to slow down so they can speed up.
Yeah,
It's a different contrast.
it is. And that doesn't only apply to business and also how you bring in clients, but if we think about the clients themselves, and us ourselves, if we are consistently focused on how can I get out of this place, like you said, fixing broken people, right? If we view ourselves that way, like I'm broken and I need to be fixed, that progress, whatever progress you experience there, is not going to feel good for you. That is not going to be sustainable. You're going to end up in a position where, again, you're just moving away from pain, but you're not actually healing and you're not actually achieving that with a purpose. Whereas if you can approach this from, I love myself so much that I deserve better. I love myself so much that I want to heal. I want to take care of my health. I want to take care of my body. I want to heal generational trauma because I care about myself and the people around me so much that I owe it to myself to do these things. That is the biggest difference in how you can actually create trust within yourself from an embodied place, a place that feels good.
Yes. And for people that are listening, I mean, that are still thinking like this sounds too easy or it's like trust myself. Every time I trust myself, I feel like it hasn't worked. They just beat them up so much that they're just like. Have you ever felt like quitting before? Like, have you ever had a goal or something you want to achieve and you're just like, is this even worth it?
Yes.
Like, I'm just thinking, sometimes I have all these projects in my mind or things I want to do, and along the way, I'm like, is this worth it?
Mm-hmm.
I think the worth it is not even in the lesson or even in the outcome. It doesn't feel good in the moment, but I feel like I can learn something through this new feeling. It's like I feel lost. For example, right? If I am in Mexico and there's beautiful people around me, oh my God, I'm like, how amazing is this feeling right now? Because I was at a wedding a few years ago and all these women and all the family were just so much love and positivity. I'm like, I want to learn Spanish. Like, I felt frustration because they were compensating me in a way like they knew me my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in that moment, like, I want to learn Spanish. This is frustrating. So in the frustration, that frustration, I would argue, can lead you to all your achievements.
Mm-hmm. It's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
I think anything worth having is not easy,
Yeah.
ever. If you want something in your life, whether that's an experience, a feeling, a skill, an outcome, that's going to require you to become a version of you that you've never been before. And that is transformation, that's change. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with change, but if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable and recognize, like, no, the steps that you're taking are not going to be easy, but it's going to help you get somewhere that feels better than where you are.
And God has a bigger plan for all of us.
Absolutely.
Like whoever's watching or whoever's feeling this, or whoever's seeing this, we might think we know everything. And in that point, I catch myself in a lot of problems when I start getting to a point like I know so much, I know everything.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, always humble myself. I don't know shit. It's
Mm-hmm.
something I always keep in the back of my head. Like, I don't know anything. That's what makes me curious.
Yes.
When my mum got sick back in 2017 and she had lupus, I felt like I was the only person on this planet that could save her. My brothers didn't go to the gym. No one in my family knew what they were doing. My auntie passed away from lupus. My uncle passed away from lupus. It runs in the family. I already lost my dad through trauma. I mean, through like a head thing. Like she had like brain cancer. And now I got my mom who's about to lose her life. And I just thought in that moment, I'm like, I got this. I ain't got shit, dude. Like 6 months taking her to the hospital, back and forth, them treating my mum like a number. Like my mum has broken English. So when she talks about the pain she's going through, I would like sit here, mum's here, doctor's there. Doctor looks at my mum. She's pissed off, frustrated. He's like, yeah, there's going to be 20 minutes. Just anger. And then he's like, so can you tell me your name? I'm like, dude, she was here last week. What the fuck is your problem?
Wow.
And then she's like, I'm frustrated. What medication should I take? In the most broken English ever. And then he's like, you have to take this one and this one and this one. She's like, why do I have to take so much? She's like, because this is for this, but this is for this, this is for this, this is for this. She's like, I'm so over it. This one makes me feel like this. He's like, you have to do it. This is protocol. But there was no empathy. Like, where did you lose the art of human compassion and empathy? Sure, she needs to take the medication, bro. But can you not like connect with her at least?
Yeah.
I'm about to lose my fucking mom. Give her something other than X's and O's. Give her something to fight for. Like, you don't have hope in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I did that for 6 months and I was kind of livid at the situation. But then I got to a point where I'm like looking in the mirror. I'm like, dude, you look shit. Like I look in the mirror, I'm like, you haven't trained. You got a belly. You opened up a gym. You don't care about your clients. You're exhausted all the time. You're barely sleeping. You're a mess, dude. Are you okay? I just asked myself, I'm like, I'm not okay. And I just remember not letting go of my mom, but having faith that she's got this.
Mm-hmm.
She's badass. My mom is badass. She doesn't need me every morning checking up on her. Doesn't need me to tell her to do 8,000 steps. She doesn't need me to remind her to take her medication.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a fucking vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember this one day, I was at the park and I saw her walking. I'm like, Mom, slow down. She looked at me. She started walking faster. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So I started running. I'm like, Mom. She's like, what do you want? I'm like, you haven't spoken to me like that in forever. This is the good, by the way. My mom speaks to me like this.
Yes.
She's like, what do you want? I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm trying to get my steps. Like, what are you doing? You need food? I'm like, no, I don't need food. I'm just wondering what you're up to. She's like, well, I've been doing 8,000 steps a day, every day for the last 3 months, lost 8 kilograms, and I'm trying to get to 10,000. So yeah, I'm like, I went home that day. I thought, dude, I don't know shit. Like, I don't know shit. I don't know people. I don't know what the universe holds. I just know that if someone wants something, they'll show you through their words, they'll show you through their actions, not their words.
Mm-hmm.
My mum didn't have to say anything. She decided that she wanted to live.
Yeah.
It was a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Her body was breaking down, dude. She had facial hair. She lost all her hair. Her face got puffy. Her bones, her joints, everything just like bloated because she had 50 milligrams of peridicillin, which is a steroid that shuts down your immune system. She was going backwards in time rapidly.
Yeah.
And that changed everything I knew about like health and hope. You can optimize health all you want, but if you don't have hope, you're dead inside. So I saw my mom and thought, this is cool. So last year she's like, I'm going to China. I'm like, okay, send me photos. She sent me a photo of her climbing the Great Wall of China, 63.
After this?
Yeah.
After she recovered?
Yeah. So this is 2024.
Wow.
Last year, 2017. She's going to have lupus forever.
Yeah.
But the fact that she can climb the Great Wall of China
That's
after
incredible.
all that happened, I just thought, man, there was a period in my family where everyone's like dropping like flies. Everyone's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's well. People are like dying. And I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like you go through those periods. And now whenever I call my mom, like everyone's happy, everyone's healthy, like everyone's good. I'm like,
Wow.
yeah.
I love that you said it's a decision. I do believe that everything is a choice. And we can't control everything, but we can always control how we respond to things. And if you can recognize the autonomy that you have over your life by just simply remembering, like, you get to choose. No matter what, you get to choose how you want to respond to things, how you want them to affect you, what you want to do after that, how you let people treat you. Like, everything is a decision. And I think that's when you take your power back.
Decisions, not conditions. My first mentor told me everyone has conditions. And people will think, because of this, I don't have this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a condition. And then he used to frame things like, you can decide and create a meaning to whatever you want. The way you look at things, everyone can look at it a different way, right?
Totally.
One of the things that Tony Robbins also taught me, which I think is a powerful lesson, is when you're saying you want something, you do it from a place I already have it.
Yeah.
For example, if you say something like, I want more money, you're in that same statement, you're also saying you don't have money. So we did this whole 5-day, 12-hour seminar on reframing how you command things in your life, statements. So now we'll say, I want more money than I already have.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I want more love. I want more love than I already have. Or I want to meet people in my life that have such great positive energy that gives me energy as well, more than I already have now. So whenever you keep framing things in a way that you already have it, you just get more of it.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people like just go through like what they don't have.
Absolutely. And you try to affirmation yourself into believing something.
There's a lot of toxic affirmation out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, the affirmation situation is rough.
It makes us look. Yeah, it's a battle that we have to fight, I guess. Who started this? What witchery is this?
Well, the reason why affirmations don't work is because if you're telling yourself, like, I am rich, I am successful, I am fit, but you don't actually believe those things about yourself, it's like nailing Jello to a tree. Like, you're actually just not, it's not going to register in your brain because your body doesn't believe it. But if you can tell yourself, like you said, reframing the way that you say those things, if you can say, I am working on becoming a better version of myself every single day, that feels true.
Yeah.
That feels way more true in my body than saying I'm successful.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just working on becoming a better version of myself.
Yeah, I did this for like 6 months in COVID, this whole I am stuff.
Yeah.
Every day I wrote it down. Like, you know, in The Simpsons where Bart Simpson's writing lines?
Yeah.
Guys doing that every fucking day for 6 months.
You know what's crazy? I recently moved, and when I was moving out of my old place into my new apartment, I found all of these journals that I had started writing when I started my business. So this was about 4 or 5 years ago, and we were in the same mentorship program, and like every single day drilled it into my brain. It's like, I make $10,000 a month. I have X amount of clients. I have a podcast. I'm a successful business owner. And I wrote this down like every single day. It worked because here I am. However, in those moments, like, you have to believe what you're actually writing. You have to believe the thing that you're writing down, or at least believe that it's possible for you. And if you're doing it from a state of like, I don't think I could ever get there, then you're just wasting ink.
You're wasting ink. Poor ink.
But if we go talk about self-trust again, if you trust yourself, then you're going to trust that the words you're writing are true. If your self-trust is broken, those promises are broken to yourself, you can say, I'm going to make X amount of dollars a month, but that's not going to happen for you. You don't trust that. You don't trust yourself. So you have to back it up with action. I think it's important. But I found all those journals, and it was such a crazy moment to look back on, realizing I had all this evidence of like every single day. Like, I looked at the dates. I didn't miss a day. It was like 3 years that every single day, and there was probably 25 journals, just writing down what I wanted, who I was, who I wanted to be, until I actually started to believe it, until I got to a place where it felt like my reality or my truth.
And what is that? What is that moment? Is it a feeling? Is it like a number? Was it a project that was completed? Was it thousands of people telling you exactly who you believe you were? Like, what was it for you?
That like made me believe it?
Yeah.
That's a really great question. I think it is a feeling. I have a tattoo on my arm that says becoming, and I just believe we're always becoming.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think that's part of it, is saying the thing, but backing it up with action so that you believe it. You have the actions to prove, like, you have receipts. You know?
Yeah, you need receipts.
You have the actions to prove you are that person. You are that version of you. So for me, it wasn't just writing it down, but it was actually showing up and taking the action every single day. What would it look like to be that version of me? Like, if I were to show up as business owner Brittany when I didn't have a business, what do I have to do to become her? I have to take those actions. Or if I wanted to show up as the version of me who needed to learn how to walk again, I can't just write down every single day, I know how to walk. I have to get into the gym and start moving my body and do the work to get there. So when you take those actions, you actually back it up. I think it compounds over time. And it literally feels like one day you wake up and you're like, wow, look at all those actions I just took.
That's my problem with social media, because people don't have those lessons and they share it anyway.
It's so true.
Like people are living other people's lives and like, oh, this is the lessons someone else lived, but I'm going to share it in my way because I got a whole bunch of followers. And someone like yourself that actually couldn't walk can, like, who's telling you the story? Who's telling you the information? Like, who is the person where's the source? And when you talk about show me your receipts, I think a lot of people gloss over it. In this world full of like fabrication, I think we live right now in 2025, a world full of make believe. It's so hard to quiet the noise. So something I'm really cognitive of as well. Right now, I'm in the process of deleting everyone that I'm following, like every single person, no exceptions, and then building it back up.
Right.
Why? Because my algorithm is contorted. It is completely contorted. There's too much going on, too much stimulation. And something I'm really going through is like not more, but less, like subtract, subtract, subtract. I don't need more noise. I need more signal.
I like that.
Noise is fucking everywhere. And I travel a lot, so it compounds sometimes. And signal is beautiful. Signal is just like, what is that?
So what would you describe signal as in comparison to noise?
Signal is an amazing, amazing moment of like, oh, what's that? It's a feeling, it's a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And there's an instant connection and there's an instant curiosity. It's not an outcome. It's like, I want to watch how the food is being prepared. I want to see what seasoning it is. I want to see how it's cooked. I want to see what it looks like during the process of cooking, not just like, let me eat. I want to see the development and the curiosity of said feeling. Meeting someone, like I saw you at the gym and we're just talking about medication and then my little brother, and you told me about how you took it when you were 14. Instantly my brain's like, we need to do a podcast.
Yeah.
And now we get to share this message. And I feel like a lot of people have these feelings and moments in their day where they have an idea, but they don't act on it.
Yes.
And I think that it's a muscle you create and a certain intention that you put out there when you lean into that. It's the right thing to do. I can't explain it. It's not something that you can put on a piece of paper.
Intuition.
Yeah, intuition.
Yeah, it's strengthened. I had a client ask me this the other day. I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually no longer fitness coaching. So basically what I do is I work with clients and I call it like the balance between empowerment and self-connection, like empowerment and embodiment. So I teach women how to lead their own lives, like self-leadership through the empowerment side of things, but then the embodiment and self-connection side is doing it in a way that's actually connected to yourself, which is a lot of what we talked about. So I had a client ask me, what's the difference between intuition and fear, and how do I strengthen my intuition? And just like what you said, strengthening your intuition is a practice. You do it every single day. In those small moments, you get that little gut feeling, that little nudge on your shoulder that says like, we should go talk to that person, or we should do this podcast, or we should start this business, or whatever it is for you. Literally could be something as simple as I should turn down the street. And the best things in your life are going to come by following your intuition. And the only way to strengthen your intuition is to practice listening to it, practice using it.
Yeah, listening to it, taking action on it. You can listen to it. A lot of people have the idea of like, oh, it feels good. And they watch it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or they watch it through consuming social media. It's there, but they don't take action on it. It's like, go speak to that person. Yeah, what is that? Speak to him. Call your boss and tell him that you quit. Like, or speak to your partner about a thing that bothered you 2 months ago that has been eating you alive, but you decided to be a doormat.
Because what if you don't? Like literally, if you get that feeling within you, that the inner nudge that says, I think I should do this thing. If you don't listen to it, that's my biggest fear. Like, what if you don't?
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, you're going to live the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you did.
Same goes with relationships. Meeting someone, going through something with someone, building adversity with someone, breaking up with someone, starting a family with someone. All of these is all intuition based.
Yeah.
What if you don't?
What if you don't? I don't know about you, but I would rather live my life knowing I did and it didn't work out the way that I wanted to, or it didn't go the way that I planned, but at least I listened. At least I gave it a shot. At least I tried. Then always questioning what would have happened if I had listened to that.
Sounds like anxiety, Anxiety is literally the definition of feeling something and shying away. And when you build that muscle over and over again, more anxiety compounds. The world will give you what you want. If you don't want to take action and you don't want to step into courage, you can have anxiety instead. And maybe that's someone's choice of poison.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fucking I like the taste of poison.
Oh, not me. Man, anxiety's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling in the world, I
Yeah.
think.
I think I think everyone has it. I still have anxiety, but
Hmm.
I don't let it dictate whether I do it or not.
Yes.
You
Feel the
know?
fear and do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a learned practice over time that I didn't even sometimes slow down enough to recognize that I went through some sort of fear, anxiety today and I went through it. Like it was actually there, but I just plowed through it.
Yeah.
You plow through it because you've built up the muscle,
Hmm.
and that's with everything. Feel it and do it anyway.
Yeah. I have this analogy that I always use when I talk about fear. And it's like pretend you're driving a car, you're in the driver's seat, and fear's in the passenger seat. And the fear is going to tell you, don't go down that road, slow down, we should speed up, don't go this way, you should go that way instead. It's just yapping at you consistently. Most people will hear fear and get annoyed and frustrated and allow fear to determine their decisions. So they're going to listen to the fear. And like literally imagine this as like an annoying person in your car. It tells you to turn left, you turn left. Even though within you, you know you want to turn right. What we need to do is we need to learn how to drive the car with fear, like in the back seat or in the trunk, not in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
Don't
Yeah, yeah,
let
yeah. I
fear
like that one.
drive.
Yeah.
Like it can chill with you. It can be in the back seat. It can yap at you. It can yell at you over your shoulder. Just like listen to it and say, "Hey, I see you. I hear you." But I'm not going to let you drive the car. I'm driving, not you.
Yeah. Something I struggled with was people pleasing. When I got into a service-based industry, I loved the feeling of helping people. It was like a magnet. It's like, I've helped you and you feel good, and now I feel good. I want more of it. But there's a fine line until it's pouring from an empty cup. And I went through that for like the first 8 years of my personal training journey. I wanted people to lose weight more than they wanted to lose weight. This is a fucking problem. So maybe it was maybe too nice. Maybe it was people pleasing in a way I wanted to feel validated for their results.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And now I'm not like that anymore. I can see my clients doing it. I can see my friends doing it. I can see people pleasing because I used to have those tendencies as well. People pleasing on paper doesn't sound that bad. But if you put anything in its extreme, it becomes quite a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You help too many people, you come home, you're exhausted. Over time, you start aging pretty quickly. It's like gray hair, fucking skin starts getting rashy, nails look a bit funny, symptoms in your body, gut health starts deteriorating. I mean, when it comes to people pleasing for you, what do you see? Because it's not a diagnosed term that you can go to a doctor and like you have people pleasing tendencies, go take this drug.
Yeah.
Like, but what can you see as tendencies when it comes to people pleasing?
This is a really great question. People pleasing shows up in a million different ways, really. The biggest one is this innate desire to help people. And so often we don't recognize that as people pleasing. We just think, I care so much about people, I want to help. I'm an empathetic person. This person is struggling. I know I can help them, so I feel like I should help them. It's like an obligation. And one of the biggest differentiators is like, are you doing this because you genuinely want to help this person? Are you doing this because it makes you feel better about yourself, or are you doing this because you feel obligated to? And that's going to tell you everything you need to know. Because if we're doing it out of obligation, that probably comes from self-worth. If we're doing this because it makes you feel better about yourself, that ties back to self-worth. Whereas if you do it because you genuinely want to help them, that's like, my cup is full and now I want to overflow. Now I want to help you because I have so much to give. But if you're pouring from an empty cup and you're pouring so much into everybody else and like you're completely empty, that's going to start showing up in your world where you have no energy and you're not able to be intentional, you're not able to be present. And that's more damaging to anybody else than overextending yourself and trying to do a favor.
What's the cost of not being present?
Wow. Everything? I don't know. You miss out on life. When you're not present, do you really experience anything? Do you have deep connections? Do you get to actually know what life feels like, or are you just kind of on autopilot coasting through it, you know? I don't know how you would package that up into the cost except for saying everything. Like, I literally think when you're not present, you miss out on life.
What if people's presence, like they just hate where they are? Are they really present? Because in the moment, if someone's listening to this and they're driving or they're at home, they're with their kids, maybe they're on the way to the gym, or maybe they're in bed, or maybe they're listening to this because they came across our social media platforms for the first time and they just think present, easy for you to say, I got fucking debt. I have troubles. Someone just cheated on me. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Having perspective is everything.
Yeah.
Like, what is the perspective shift that you need to receive for you to know that everything will be okay.
I
And
mean, everything is going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. You've made it through every hard time in your life up to this point. You're here right now. You know, you're still doing it. It might be really hard. There's so many moments in my life where I broke trust with myself, or I had my accident, or I had all of these things that came up for me that just felt like my world was ending. And in those moments, I actually just had to sit with myself and say, you have made it through every single hard thing that's ever come your way. What makes this time different?
mm, and if it's not, and if it's your first trouble,
Yeah.
like you're listening to this and you've never heard about intuition, gut feeling, perspective, living a life through truth and trusting yourself and being present. If you've never heard these terms before, but it feels right, lean into that, because there's a whole world out there for you, and the universe, God, whoever, is always working for you, not against you.
Mm.
As long as you can slow down and reframe the situation constantly, get a perspective shift. I mean, typical example, my parents, if I didn't eat my food on the table, they would always remind me that, hey, in Vietnam, before we got on a boat to Australia, this food that we have was everything. That's their perspective. It was hard for me to understand their perspective because I never lived a life full of trauma like that. I didn't live in a third world country starving for food. I always knew first world. But as I got older and I travel more, travel gives you perspective.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a third world country, I'm looking at all these people happy without any food. I'm like, dude, traveling is one of those gems you can do in life. And when you come back home, you just stop complaining.
Yeah.
Like you're nothing to complain about. You have so much more time when you travel. I mean, Gary Vee talks about perspective equals happiness. And he went on a tangent at the seminar I was at in the Middle East a few months ago. He said, the fact that you are all breathing, do you know how lucky you are? The fact that you're an actual human, do you know the chances of it, of you being an actual human today? Your mom and dad was one drink away from you not even happening. You know,
Yeah.
you don't think about this stuff. But if you can stay conscious enough to slow down and start your day with some perspective to give you some enlightenment to move towards courage,
Mhm.
we've done our job.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think perspective is the biggest thing I took away from all of my experiences, because I learned through my accident in Bali, through my mental health diagnosis, growing up with alcoholic parents, and all of those situations, I learned perspective. And I learned that skill of how to see things a different way. It's like I can choose for this to be a burden, or I can choose for this to be a blessing. But I don't believe you have to get to like a rock bottom moment to experience that.
Amen.
I think you can just choose.
You can choose.
You can just have perspective and say, like, what if I can shift the way I see this situation and make the most out of it? What if I can shift the way I see myself and put myself first? What if I can realize, in order for me to show up as the best mom, the best partner, the best business owner, the best sister, that also involves me showing up as the best version of me for myself?
Hey man, the book I'm reading right now, I've read it 3 times, but this one hits me harder because when you read a book, you can read it in different phases of your life, and based on where you're at, you get a different perspective. So I'm reading The Alchemist,
Good book.
and The Alchemist is exactly where I feel everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
You wake up, I need to set this goal, I need to achieve it because then life would be good. So I'll do my poor version of like explain the book, but basically it talks about this kid called Santiago, and he has this vision of finding treasure. Okay, we all can relate to this. We want treasure. If we get the treasure, life is the best. Like I want to follow my childhood dreams of getting the treasure. So he goes through a journey of suffering. He finds this woman he fell in love with. The woman's like, go find your treasure because you're going to regret not finding it if you just settle with me now. And then he sold all these sheep that he loved. He was a shepherd. He had all these sheep, and he sold the sheep just to get gold to travel to the pyramids, to have enough money to go to the pyramids and find treasure. Dude, he gets to the treasure, and there was like people there like, what are you doing here? There's no treasure here. Give me all your money. And they start beating him up. All right, this is my poor rendition of The Alchemist right now. So, and then Santiago's like, there's no treasure. And in that moment, he sacrificed everything for this treasure. Everything. There were so many different pivots. He went along on this journey, met a whole bunch of people just to find this treasure. And at the end of it, the irony was there was no treasure. And the person, one of the bad people, was like, I heard this story that in Spain, where Santiago's from, that there was treasure in Spain. That was like one of my dreams. So Santiago goes home and finds all this treasure. So the treasure was always at home, And this actual story was based on like a Jesus, like a prophecy, or what Jesus said. He had two sons. One of the sons was lost, but he had an inheritance. He had two sons, two inheritance. One had the inheritance and stayed home with Jesus, and the other son went off and just used his money for like prostitutes, women, just living a life full of lust and hedonism. So the kid comes back after his long years of hedonism and is like, and the Jesus is like, come here, I've got you, everything's going to be okay. And the son that was with him the whole time was like, hold on, why are you giving him so much love and all these gifts? I stayed here with you the whole time. This guy was hanging out with a whole bunch of prostitutes. What's going on? So my interpretation was, we all dance with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
We all are imperfect. We're all human, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to go through it to see the lesson. So we can spit a podcast to you all you want. You can go down the personal development journey, but unless you live the life that was created for you and fully live it, you're never going to learn the lesson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You can shy away from it. You
Yeah.
know, you can hold yourself back.
You can stay comfortable. It's okay.
You can let fear control you.
Yeah.
And that's good. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
But where's the beauty in okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Where's the purpose, the passion? Where's the spark?
Yeah, we all watch movies where, you know, the couple is kissing in the rain. Why the fuck are they kissing in the rain?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you go inside, dude?
Yeah.
It's fucking raining.
But that's the spark. That's what everyone wants, you know?
Exactly. There's true love and joy through adversity of life. And adversity is different colors, different spices, different flavors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think, you know, talking about a few things that came up today, we talked about like courage, having the courage to do the hard things. We talked about perspective. We talked about curiosity. All of those things, even integrity, building self-trust, all of those things are going to be the recipe to create joy in your life. And if you can embody those things, be courageous, you know, take the leap. Don't let fear take over. If you can be curious, be willing to learn and ask questions, be a beginner. If you can trust yourself to make decisions and listen to your inner wisdom, you're going to experience more joy. Yeah. It's like literally when you asked me at the beginning of this podcast, what's the framework? That's the framework.
There we go. Oh, Brittany, thank you for doing this. Where can people find you?
My Instagram is at Brittany Roth, but spelled with 3 T's because someone stole my real name.
Damn, that is not a Brittany.
I know. Brittany Roth on Instagram, and then same thing everywhere else.
Cool. Well, Brittany, thank you. And yeah, this is probably not the last time, so it has been a joy.
It has been a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.